Hey, this video is about changing the oil pan gasket on a 2012 Ford Escape. I'm pretty sure it applies to other years, but that's the vehicle I have here. And one of the issues you may run into is there's four 12mm nuts that hold this exhaust manifold in place, and I could not budge those things. So what I did was on Friday, I took it to a muffler shop and I had them change those nuts out, replace them with some new nuts, and put it back together, kind of loose. And today's Saturday, I'm taking it off to change this oil pan gasket. So from the underside of the vehicle, these are four, let's see if we can get the other one. These are the four nuts that the muffler shop had to replace, which made this job a lot easier today. The two nuts back here, those were fairly easy to get off with no problem at all. But these other four I could not budge originally. And here's the oil pan. Obviously, you see it's been leaking for quite some time. And I've removed all of the 13mm bolts. And the two bolts right here. One on that side, one on the front side of the oil pan, and one on the back side. So now I'm at the stage where I'm gonna pry this off. I'll probably give it a couple whacks with a rubber mallet and pry this oil pan from the bottom of the engine. So the rubber mallet was not very effective. So I'm going to give this a shot. Maybe it's a pry bar, or I call it a cat claw. I'll give this a shot and see how that works. Okay, so the cat claw worked pretty good. I basically put it in there between the AC compressor bracket and kind of pried it. Oops. And that was the first time it actually broke free. So I don't want to do this again with one hand, so I'll give it another shot. Okay, so once I was able to use that spot to pry it off, the rubber mallet was much more effective after that. You just kind of have to work the pan down, and then you got the bottom of the engine. Got to do a little bit of cleanup over here. A little bit of cleanup on the pan, and then change out the gasket, and you'll be ready for install. But this has been leaking for more than a year. It's been a pain in the neck trying to keep the driveway clean, and finally I decided to go ahead and change it out. So yeah, there'll be a little bit of oil left in the pan. Basically just pour that oil into your oil catch pan and pretty much start your cleaning process from there. All right, so a little bit of wire brush, a little bit of a brake parts cleaner to get the surface clean. You want to be careful not to scratch the surface. That's the mating surface there, so you want to have a nice smooth mating surface. And from here, I'm gonna just get the rest of this residual oil out of here, get this pan cleaned up, change the gasket out, and reinstall it. So I decided I was gonna scrub this thing down, get all this oil off of here. This Dawn detergent, this detergent stuff, man, this stuff works wonders for cutting oil. I'll clean the outside of it as well. I'm going to be sure to get down in the grooves. I just want to have a good clean mating surface for the gasket material to bond with the oil pan. I decided I'm gonna hit this thing with the pressure washer, get it nice and brand new. So this is before, well, this is the after for the pressure washer. Just a little bit of Dawn detergent and pressure washer. Didn't need to be spotless, but I just want to get it manageable underneath there. So I use a little bit of compressed air to dry this water out of here, get the pan nice and dry, and kind of go from there. So now I'm installing the new gasket. It looks like it can go on here two ways, but really it's just one way that it can go on here. That section right there and that rectangle right there, those two rectangles got to match up. If you try to put it on backward, these bolt holes aren't going to line up. So it's basically just one way it goes on. Just start working it on from there. Okay, with the new gasket in place, seated in the oil pan properly, next step from here is reinstall the oil pan and basically redo all the steps that you did to get this oil pan off. Be sure and hand start all these bolts and torque them to manufacturer specs.